Good morning, world. It's over 9 o'clock in the morning. I just woke up. You guys did my show yesterday about the Bible and the Sky Source and James Gunn, Superman. Yeah. Are you gonna go to the mall, Ivan? Yeah, today I'm gonna go to the mall and apply for my health card because the folks lost my health card. That's why I'm so pissed off. This is, I think, the fifth time I lost my health card. I lost my health card many, many times. Yeah. But I'm off today, so I can relax, obviously. And tomorrow I'm off too. And Wednesday I work at Dinty's. I'm off Thursday and I might also be off Friday. I might also be off Friday, right? Yeah. Yeah. We talk about the Bible? No, enough about the Bible. I talk about the Bible, I think, 3-4 days straight. I'm gonna go back to talking about the other stuff, the more important stuff. At the end of the day, the Bible's not real, right? The Bible's fantasy. I thought it'd be cool to wow you, all you Christians and apologists out there, with my with the gifts that my father gave me to teach, obviously. And just like Sam Shamoon has the gifts too, I also have the gifts too. Yeah. I know how to go very deep with Bible topics, obviously. Deep revelation. It's just a gift that I have. God gave me the gifts. God gave me the gifts. Yeah. Yeah. So you think Christians are crazy? Yeah, I think Christians, I don't even think, I'll talk about the Bible here. I think Christians are so crazy. They think that Jesus never did one bad deed in his entire life. Not even having a lustful thought towards a woman. And I proved to you in that passage he did have lust. So even if you say that he never did a bad deed, I can prove to you that Jesus did do a bad deed in the Bible. And if he did have a lustful thought towards a woman, that means he committed adultery in his heart, and you have to admit that he did a bad deed. And right, if he did that bad deed, he sinned. I'm like, so you're saying if a woman hits on him, and he says, I banged this chick, he sinned against the Father, but he didn't do it. Like, come on, guys, you guys are fucking crazy people, man. It's impossible for a human being to not think bad thoughts, man. It's impossible, yeah. Where did I put my... Oh. Yeah. Yeah. So Sam Shamoon them think I'm a heretic. Yeah, they do. They think I'm a heretic, obviously. And I believe he did bad deeds in his life. Yeah, if you're saying he did a bad deed, that means he sinned, man. Well, then you have to be consistent. In the Old Testament, he murdered people. Yeah, but Ivan, like, that's righteous judgment. Yes, it is righteous judgment, but he still murdered. He still did the bad deed. He still murdered the people. And in the Old Testament, it says if you murder, you sinned. And yet he did the very thing he commanded. And yet that's not sin when he's God. And when he takes on flesh, now he failed. Like, you guys are inconsistent, man. And that's how you refute the Christian, obviously. So if I debate a Christian, they say, yeah, you're saying that Christ failed. Okay, if you want it, by your logic, if you're saying that Christ failed, then you also have to admit that he failed in the Old Testament too. Because he said in the Old Testament, thou shalt not murder. If you murder, it's a sin. And yet he's doing the very thing he commanded the Israelites not to do. Did he sin in the Old Testament? No. So when he's God and he doesn't take on flesh and he kills people, that's not a sin in the Old Testament. But when he takes on flesh, when he has the temptations, human limitations, now it's a sin. Like, you know what I'm saying? We should just so inconsistent with their arguments. That's how you prove their arguments, Ivan. Because they're inconsistent, yeah. It's heresy, Ivan. Okay, well then be consistent. Condemn him in the Old Testament too. You have to be consistent, guys. Yeah. Yeah. You have to be consistent, Samsara. Yeah. Anyways, not about the Bible. James Gunn's Superman hit $400 million, guys, in 2 weeks. $400 million in 2 weeks. That's crazy, man. Yeah. You think it'll hit $1 billion? That's potential. It did $400 million in 2 weeks, guys. So the movie obviously has a lot of legs. A lot of repeat viewings, spreading word of mouth, and a lot of families are going to the theaters to see the movies. I highly doubt it'll hit $1 billion. I think it could hit $800 million. It just has to have legs for the next maybe 3-4 weeks. It could hit it $800 million Superman. But $1 billion, I think that's pushing it. But if it does hit $1 billion, remember that Ivan predicted it. And that's why I recommend all you DC fans around the world, in Europe, Canada, America, you know what I'm saying, China, Japan, India, I'm saying Australia, New Zealand, Mexico, you go to the theaters and you watch Superman, man. That way this thing is huge. And you're welcome, Warbles, yeah. Yeah. As I obviously have a big part to play with James Gunn's Superman's success, obviously, right? Had I not promoted my channel, I don't think the movie would have done $400 million in 2 weeks. Maybe $300 million in 2 weeks, $280 million in 2 weeks. But me promoting it, I helped them out a lot because I have the keys and the whole world's tuning into my channel. My Sabdos channel, right? I have the keys to the kingdom. And so the whole world knows about my channel when I uploaded my video. And the whole world's watching my video, obviously, right? Yeah. $400 million in 2 weeks. That's crazy. I guarantee even John Campbell will make that announcement today on his show. I guarantee John Campbell's even shocked. Yeah, that's crazy, man. I didn't expect that. Yeah, John Campbell was expecting Superman to do maybe $400 or $500 million at the box office. I remember Superman might make $400, $500 million at the box office. I already did that in 2 weeks. 2 fucking weeks, man. Yeah. This movie has legs, obviously. And so it could hit $800 million, right? If it hits $800 million, Warner will be profitable. And it'll be popping bottles, obviously. Yeah. How much does Superman need to make to break even? That's 700, 750 million range around there. John said 650, he's wrong. Superman has to do more than 650 to break even. At least 700, 750 million to break even. Why? Because the theaters take a cut of the earnings and they have to make a bit more. That's why 650 million is wrong. It was made for 225. They put 100 to 150 million marketing. Obviously. Based off that math, yeah, the break even is at 600, 650 million range. But don't forget the theater chains take 33 to 50% of the money, which means Warner Bros. Has to make a little bit more to be profitable. There's 700 to 750 million to be profitable. So John ain't happy don't hate me, John. I'm saying he's wrong with his math, obviously, right? Superman has to do more than 600 million to break even. 750 million around to break even. So if they can hit Andrew and dollars, they are in that profit territory. They made a little bit of profit, very little bit of profit, you know. Yeah. If Superman makes $800+ million, Warner Bros. Will be popping balls because the movie made money. It made a little bit of profit. It was profitable. It made little profit, but it made money, man. And Warner Bros. Will be happy. Oh my God, we didn't lose any money on it. We made money off this on our rebuilding stage movie. Yeah. So Superman is a rebuilding, like it's a movie meant to rebuild the MCU. It's not the Warner Bros.' goal is not really to make money on this. It's to win back the fans and rebuild and refresh the MCU. That's their main goal. But at the same time, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt for them to make some money off this, right? It's not nice to lose money. Yeah, because I guarantee Warner Bros. Probably if they made $500 million, they would have been pretty good. We lost money, but at least this thing made $500. They already made $400 million in 2 weeks. The Superman, man, that's crazy, man. $400 million in two fucking weeks, man. And John Hamm will be announcing it on the show, right? Today, right now. $400 million in 2 weeks, man. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah. Yeah. Alright, do you think Sky's Entertainment do you think James Gunn's DCU has potential bigger than Kevin Feige's MCU? Yes, it does. If everything's done right, obviously. But so far, everything has been done right. As Superman, I heard great things about it. A lot of fans say it's an amazing movie. Some fans don't like it, obviously. Most of the fans love the movie. A lot of people are going back to theaters and watching it again because I heard it's a really good movie. Obviously, but a lot of fans also say it has its flaws, obviously. But a lot of fans love James Gunn's Superman. Yeah, that's why it has a lot of word of mouth spread around the world, obviously, right? Superman right now. Yeah. Samsara. Yeah. So why do you think DC has the potential to be like Kevin Feige's Marvel's glory is? Oh yeah, it does. Whereby every movie is averaging $1 billion and it has that potential. They just have to do everything right. They have to tell good stories, obviously, and they have to market it well. Yeah. And they also gotta tell good stories. Obviously, right? Yeah. Because James Gunn's not stupid. He know the old DCU. They rushed everything too fast, hence why it didn't work, obviously. Yeah. Why do you think Man of Steel didn't work? The marketing was not that great. I remember they didn't market it that well, if I remember, in 2013. And the tone of Superman was too dark. It was not really family friendly. Man of Steel had a darker iteration of Superman compared to James Gunn's Superman. James Gunn's Superman is filled with joy. It's lighter. It's more family friendly. Man of Steel had a darker tone. Obviously, it's not as family friendly compared to James Gunn's Superman, obviously. Yeah. Samsara. And they rush everything too fast. Yeah. Because I guarantee James Gunn, he's probably gonna introduce all the characters before he does his first Justice League movie. Okay, let's do a Superman movie, a Batman movie, a Wonder Woman movie, a Supergirl movie. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, and then we do maybe 5 movies, and after that we do our Justice League movie. That way, the fans are the fans now know about all the characters. That's what Kevin Feige did for Marvel. He did all his standalone movies with all the main guys before he did his Avengers movies, obviously. And that's why it was successful. Marvel's, I'm sorry. Yeah, and the DCU, the old DCU, they didn't do that. They did one Superman movie, and they did a Batman v Superman movie, and after that they did a Justice League movie. They did the fans didn't really get an opportunity to breathe and know about some of these characters. They just, okay, let's just do Justice League. Hopefully it's a hit, and it didn't work, man, because they didn't plan everything out right, man. You gotta build your characters. Yeah, they just did Justice League and they brought all these guys, but you don't. The fans didn't really know much about Wonder Woman, Batman, Flash, Cyborg, Aquaman, and they only knew about Superman. That's it, and a bit about Batman and Batman vs Superman. Hence why it wasn't. Yeah. Did you like Zack Snyder's Justice League? It's pretty good, but it's not like the Avengers movies, right? That's my point. It was pretty good with Steppenwolf and all that stuff. It was pretty good, but the theatrical cut I didn't really like that much. But the Zack Snyder cut was pretty good. I liked that. It was pretty good, obviously. But they rushed everything too fast. That's why it didn't work, man. And the tone is very dark. Zack Snyder's version of the DCU was a darker version. It had that dark tone, right? It's dark, yeah. That's why it didn't work, obviously. That's why Warner Bros. Had to refresh the whole thing. Yeah. They have to refresh the whole thing, I'm sorry. They have to refresh the whole thing. Yeah. So if you don't think Supergirl will hit $1 billion, we'll see how much money Superman makes. If Superman makes $800+ million at the box office, Supergirl could be an easy $1 billion hit, or maybe 900, 880, 900 million hit, because Supergirl is not that popular of an IP compared to the other characters, right? Yeah. But if Superman does make $800 million at the box office, Supergirl could be an easy $1 billion hit, obviously. And Brave and the Bold will be an easy $1 billion hit, obviously. Duh, Batman's a very popular character. I think John Campbell and Robin will agree. Yeah, even Brave and the Bold's an easy $1 billion hit. Yeah, Brave and the Bold will be an easy $1 billion hit. Like, duh, it's Batman, right? Batman's very popular. But the story has to be good, right? It has to be a good story. If the story is not that good, it might fall maybe a little below $1 billion. Maybe $900 million. The story has to be really good, obviously, right? For it to be a $1 billion hit, Brave and the Bold. Yeah. It has to be a really good story. That's how it works, right? Yeah. It has to be what? Yeah. And Superman 2 will be an easy 1 billion hit. Well, obviously, Superman 2 will make its $1 billion+. David Corn's went, Superman will make its easy $1 billion after the sequel. This is for the sequel. Obviously, right? Wonder Woman should be a $1 billion hit too. Wonder Woman's a popular IP too, right? But they have to tell good stories. If the stories are not good, that could damage their box office results. Because you also have to tell good stories. Because word of mouth is very important for movies, right? Yeah, all the movies who make their $1 billion are the movies who have legs and spread a word of mouth, repeat viewings. But if the fans don't like your movie, that could damage your box office results. That's why it's also important that Warner Bros. Tells good stories for their DC universe. You have to tell good stories. That's very important. If your story's not good, that can damage your box office results. Your box office projections, I'm sorry. It's very important to tell good stories. Yeah. But DC also has to market their movies well too. They have to market it well. I'll be marketing all the DCU movies for the next, 4 or 5 years until I'm king. But once I'm king, I'm no longer going to market it because I'm not making any videos on Sandwich when I'm king. I'm piecing the fuck out of Fiege. And what? I'm going to start skyscraping with Fiege. Obviously, but for the next 4 or 5 years, I'll be marketing all the DC movies, and you're welcome, DC, because I want the DC thing to succeed, Samsara. Yeah. I want the DC thing to succeed. Yeah. I want the DC thing to succeed, obviously. Yeah. When you see Superman in theaters, maybe, or I might just wait until it's released online. I'll watch online. I don't know. Yeah. Because I have anxiety issues, obviously. So if the theater's packed and everything, I can trip balls and everything. So I might just see it at home, or I might go to hall and watch it at the theaters. But I don't know. Superman's already on his second week. I might watch it on its third, maybe fourth week at the theaters when the buzz dies down a little bit. But the theaters still might be packed even after 4 weeks because the thing might have legs, right? I told you, yeah. Yeah. So DC's in a much better position than Marvel, of course. They're refreshing the whole. They refreshed the whole universe. They're starting fresh. Whereas Marvel, they're in a mess right now, right? With their multiverse nonsense, they're in a mess. Yeah. I even saw a bit of Robert May Burnett's video yesterday on his channel. He talked about, how the Marvel universe is in a mess. Yeah, they're in a mess right now because they went to the multiverse nonsense. And they're in a mess. Hence why Kevin Feige is obviously hoping and praying that the Avengers movies will resurrect back the franchise. That's his hope, obviously. Okay, right now it's not working, Marvel. Hopefully I hired all the same guys. Hopefully we make a good movie for Avengers 5 and Avengers 6. The fans love it. It makes us $1 billion+, and we, yeah. You think Avengers 5 and 6 will hit $2 billion? No, I don't think so. The MCU has too much baggage right now. I don't think it'll hit $2 billion. Avengers 5 and 6. I think it'll do the Avengers 1, 2 numbers. 1.5, maybe 1.2, 1.1 billion. I don't think it's going to hit $2 billion because right now, the MCU is in a mess right now, and it has some baggage. I don't think the Avengers finances are going to hit $2 billion, but they should do their billion plus because it's an Avengers movies, but it will not hit $2 billion. I don't believe because it has so much baggage right now. Obviously, and don't forget, a lot of the fans are not really interested in the MCU right now, right? As all the movies have been flopping, flop after flop. So the Avengers movie, hence why Kevin Feige is obviously hoping that the Avengers movies will win back some of the fans, and hopefully that starts the rebuilding phase of the MCU back to its glory days. I don't think the MCU will go back to its glory days, like phases 1, 2, and 3. It might get better by the movies start making money, but some of them are making maybe 800 million, and maybe this movie makes $1 billion. This movie makes 750 million, 800 million. It's rebuilding, but I don't think it's going to go back to its glory days, whereby every movie's averaging $1 billion. I don't think it's going to go back to that, right? Because the MCU has so much baggage right now, and they went into the multiverse nonsense, which was a big mistake in Endgame, right? Yeah. Marvel, you guys made the biggest mistake going into the multiverse for Endgame. You never should have done that, man. Stay away from the multiverse stuff, man. Just tell a good story and stay away from the multiverse stuff. That stuff is cheap and it's lazy writing and anything can happen. I don't like the multiverse because anything can happen, yeah. That's why Kevin Feige can now bring back Robert Downey Jr. as Doctor Doom, because they went into the multiverse. Even though Robert Downey Jr. died as Iron Man, in another universe they can bring him. He's alive as another character as Doctor Doom, right? That's why I don't like the multiverse. Because anything can happen, right? It's lazy writing. Yeah, I don't like the multiverse. No. Yeah. It's lazy writing. Yeah. Yeah. So sorry. 2 more weeks to go before I'm done, right? I'm gonna give my 2-week notice this week to the boss. Yeah. Yeah. And once I quit, he has to hire another dishwasher. The boss, obviously. But the Coco Footy boss is not stupid. Yeah, if I hire another dishwasher and I have them work weekends, there's a high chance they can quit them, yes. It's Coco Footy on the weekends, it's crazy, man. You gotta wash so many dishes, man. It's crazy. It's a lot of work. Yeah. The boss put you alone. Yeah, the boss put me alone on Sunday, man. I'm like, what the fuck is up with that, man? Why the fuck would you put me alone, man? When you put me alone. Yeah. I was very stressed out and I was very tired, obviously. And then Raz was like, oh, Ivan, do you want something to eat? I'm like, yeah, Raz, I need something to eat. He made me my food. I took my thing. But the 30-minute breaks go by fast at Go40. Because it takes me usually 8, 9, 10 minutes to eat my food. I just watch my YouTube videos for like 20 minutes outside. After that, I gotta go inside. And every time after break, when I go inside, that's when the dish pit is a complete mess. Even if I clear it It's cleared. Once you go on break, it's a mess. It's full of dishes and everything. It's a complete mess. It's a complete mess, I'm saying. Yeah. Ivan, do you think Kevin Feige's MCU will go downhill after the Avengers movies? I'm going to qualify it. It depends how good the Avengers movies are. If the Avengers movies are not that good, even if they make $1 billion, I don't think they're going to make $2 billion. They're probably going to make their $1 billion. If they're not that good, like if John Campbell and Ed don't like it that much, that's not good. Yeah, the movie made money, but I didn't really like the movie. That's not good for Marvel, as it could go downhill after that too, man. If it keeps going downhill after the Avengers movies, that's not good for Kevin Feige. I think he might get demoted, or they might tell him to step down. Even if he does step down, he'll easily find another job somewhere else, Kevin Feige. Maybe he might get a job in DC with James Gunn. You never know, right? He's very talented, obviously. Or they're going to bring in guys to keep Kevin Feige in check, like he did in phases 1, 2, and 3. Okay, Kevin Feige, your one-man show thing's not working. Let go of your ego. You got to bring in guys to help you out. Because ever since you got rid of those guys and you went solo, your MCU went downhill for 2 phases, phases 4 and 5. The quality of your shows and your movies dropped, as most of the movies in phases 4 and 5 were not that great movies. Yeah. What do you think is the only really, really good movie in phase 4 and 5? Shang-Chi was an amazing movie. But even though Shang-Chi was an amazing movie, the movie didn't make any money, man. I heard Eternals is okay. But Shang-Chi is obviously the clear gem in phases 4 and 5. That's probably the best movie, the best Marvel movie in phases 4 and 5. Doctor Strange Multiverse Madness was okay. It was pretty good, but it wasn't like amazing, right? I heard Thor: Love and Thunder was terrible. It wasn't that good. It was goofy. But Black Widow was not that good. No offense, right? Yeah, Captain America 4 was not that good. Thunderbolts I heard was pretty good, but the movie still didn't make any money. And Deadpool and Wolverine was pretty good. Pretty good, but not like great, right? Not like a great story, right? Did you like Deadpool and Wolverine? I did, but it wasn't like a great movie. It was pretty good, obviously. But at least that movie made money. It made its $1 billion+. So Kevin Feige only had 3 successes in phases 4 and 5 for his movies. Deadpool and Wolverine, Thor: Love and Thunder, and Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange. Those are the only 3 movies I believe that made money. And all his other movies flopped or broke even. They didn't make any money. Yeah. Even though I love Anthony Mackie's performance in Captain America 4, I love him as Captain America. The movie wasn't that good, obviously. That's why it didn't do so well in the box office. I'm telling you right now, Fantastic Four will not be a $1 billion hit. It won't make $1 billion. It'll make probably $500 million for Fantastic Four. $600 million maybe. I think John Campbell and Rob Lamp would agree. Yeah, Ivan, you're right. Fantastic Four will not be a $1 billion hit. Nah, it won't be a $1 billion hit. It won't hit $1 billion. Why? Because the Fantastic Four IP is not that popular. No offense, and the MCU has too much baggage right now. They're in a messy situation. The fans are not really resonating well with the MCU brand right now. And it's competing. It's competing with Superman. Yeah. It's competing with Superman, obviously, the MCU, right? It's competing with Superman, yeah. And no offense, Fantastic Four can't compete with Superman. They just can't. Yeah. It can't compete with Superman, obviously. How much do you think Fantastic Four will do opening weekend? It'll be lucky to hit 100 million opening weekend, maybe 80, 90 million opening weekend if Fantastic Four hits. 80 million, 90 million, maybe 100 million opening weekend it hits. But I don't think the movie will have that much legs. I think we'll be lucky to make $500, $600 million in the box office. It will not be a $1 billion movie, Fantastic Four. And if it does, I'm wrong, but I don't think it will. It will not be a $1 billion hit, Fantastic Four. It's going to be another flop. If Fantastic Four makes $500 million, the movie lost money, didn't make any money. That's another disappointment for Kevin Feige, obviously. Hence why I believe he got desperate. Don't hate Kevin Feige. He got very desperate, obviously, and what? That's why he's hoping for this the Avengers movies to resurrect back the fans. Yeah. Some Sarah. Yeah. You think Disney will ever fire Kevin Feige? No, they won't. Kevin Feige's he's too big, he's too powerful, and he was a big part. He had a big part to play. I don't believe he's 100% the sole reason for the success of Marvel, but he had a part to play in building the whole thing. They're never gonna fire him, but they might. They don't want to let Kevin Feige go with a bad image, right? They might tell him, okay, Kevin, I recommend you step down as Marvel's president, obviously, and Kevin Feige steps down. That way, it doesn't look bad on Kevin Feige, right? Yeah. And I just can't see that. Well, I told you, man, if after the Avengers movies, the Marvel thing is still going downhill, Kevin Feige could lose his job. I don't think they're going to fire him, but they might tell him, kindly, I recommend Kevin Feige, you just step down. And if Kevin Feige steps down, he'll find a job somewhere else. He'll easily find a job somewhere else. Obviously, since no problem. Yeah. Or they might demote him, or they're going to bring in people to help him out to keep him in check again, obviously. He has to let go of his ego and have people help him out. That way the Marvel thing can what? Can rebuild, obviously. Yeah. Yeah. So you don't think they'll fire Kevin Feige? No. They don't want Kevin Feige's image to be damaged, obviously. Because if they fire him, it looks bad on him. If they want him to no longer be president of Marvel, they're gonna kindly tell him, hey, Kevin Feige, I recommend you step down from this position. If they want to get rid of him, obviously. And they said, and you hear the news, Kevin Feige steps down as Marvel's president. It doesn't look bad on him. Okay, we didn't fire him. He chose to step down, and he steps down, obviously. You see what I'm saying? How it doesn't happen? I think it's either the other two choices. He gets demoted. He loses his president position. He gets demoted, obviously, or they bring in the more plausible choices. They bring in guys to help him out. If Marvel's going downhill after the Avengers movies, obviously, right? I told you, if the movies are still flopping after the Avengers movies, that's not good for Marvel, right? The Marvel it's not good, obviously, for Marvel. And I don't think Avengers 5 and 6 are going to be $2 billion movies. Unless the movie is really, really, really good. Like the past Avengers movies, they could perhaps hit $2 billion. But the movie is pretty good. Yeah. I told you, because the MCU has too much baggage right now, I think the Avengers 5 and 6 will do its billion plus easy, but I don't think it'll hit $2 billion. I just don't think it will. Because the MCU has too much baggage right now. They have a lot of baggage right now in their hands. That's why I don't believe it'll be a $2 billion hit. $1 billion, yes, but not $2 billion. Like Infinity War and Endgame. I don't think so. Yeah. So, Sarah? Yeah. I'm going upstairs and get a coffee, guys. How much part you make? I'll do a 2-part video. Make a 44-minute video here. And part 2, maybe a 45-minute video, and I'm done. So I made like an hour and like 30-minute video, right? That's good enough. Yeah. I'm gonna go to the store, get my beer and smokes. I also have to go to the mall to get my health card. Because the folks lost my health card, right? I'm never leaving upstairs ever again. Yeah. Ivan, when you get your health card, don't leave your health card upstairs again. They're gonna lose your card again. I can tell them, look, man, don't touch my card. They're gonna clean the house and touch it. They're not gonna listen. I'm putting it in my wall. I'm never leaving upstairs ever again because they lost my fucking card. I was so pissed off, man. Yeah. Yeah. You think John Cameron, Rob Mann agree with Kevin Feige's MCU? Yeah, I think if it goes downhill after the Avengers movies, Kevin Feige could lose his job. I don't think they're not gonna fire him though. They might tell him to step down. Or the more plausible choice, they're gonna bring in people to help him out. Obviously, right? Yeah. Or they might tell him to step down. Hey, Kevin Feige, you're done, man. I think you should step down. Yeah, they might tell him that, obviously. Right? Yeah, but he's Kevin Feige. Like, they can never ever fire him. I don't believe they're gonna fire him, but they might tell him to politely step down of his position, obviously. Or bring in people to help him. Yeah. Do you believe it will go downhill in the MCU? It depends on how good the Avengers movies are. If the Avengers movies are not that good, then the MCU can still go downhill after that. If they're really good movies, they could resurrect the brand back to life and into its rebuilding stage, obviously. But the Avengers movies have to be good. They have to be pretty good movies. Pretty good, right? With Doctor Doom and Rob Downey Jr. They have to be good, the movies. Yeah. Avengers is coming out next year. Obviously, the movie has to be good. You think it'll hit $1 billion? Yeah, it'll easily hit its $1 billion, but I don't think it's going to hit $2 billion. I think the Avengers 1 and 2 numbers, it'll do. But if Doomsday is really good and the fans love it and it makes like $1.5 billion, then Secret Wars has potential to make it $2+ billion. But it all depends on how good Doomsday is. Doomsday has to be a good movie. I think Ron Revernan and John Campbell would agree. But if the movie's not that great, then Secret Wars will not be a 2 and 9 movie. It'll probably hit $1 billion. Obviously. Yeah. I'm sorry. Shut my camera for guys.